So let's not get wrapped up in the hype here of these new machines coming out. Videos that you see these testers testing these machines, they have experience with that format. They're experienced with the Deus, or they're experienced with the Nocta products, right? Now I'm experienced in both products, and I can tell you, the Simplex, the first day I got that Simplex, I was doing some pretty wild stuff, right? With the Deus, not so much. I have 30 years experience. I've swung a lot of detectors around in my days. And the Deus was quite the learning experience for me, or is quite the learning experience for me. You know, um, if you have like an Equinox, or you have a Simplex, or you have an AT Pro, and that's the only machine that you've ever swung, you don't have experience with a lot of metal detectors. And the Deus was a very hard experience for me. I didn't put you through all that heartache because they were boring videos, right? Trying to dial the machine in and learn and learn and learn and learn. And I'm still learning every day. Every hunt I go out, I learn something new, and I'm always adjusting settings, right? With the other machines that I just talked about, the Equinox, the Simplex, and the AT Pro, they're simple machines, right? The Equinox may be a multi-frequency machine, but it's a pretty simple machine compared to the Deus. The Deus it really is a simple machine, but it's very difficult to learn that machine. It took me quite a few months to get comfortable with the settings and learning what the settings start to do, but that's just the hot program, right? I experimented a lot with the Deus at first and just tried all different modes, different settings, tried to switch the tones around, and I just came to my senses, and I just need to go back to basics. I'll just try hot program again. And that hot program, I'm not trying to push the detector in hot program, right? But I can push the detector in hot program if I really listen for the tones. But when you get on those tough sites, like in the iron or in some EMI, or a really trashy spot there, that's when that steep learning curve really comes in handy. Once you become, comfortable with the Deus and its settings, and you begin to understand what the frequencies do and how they respond to different conductive targets, different depth of targets, different concentrations of trash, what it does in iron, your recovery speed and your frequency are the most important thing with the Deus, and the silencer too. But I'm just going to say, if you're inexperienced and you want to get a Nocta Legend or a Deus 2, prepare for a long journey of learning that machine, right? Nocta has not come out with a SMF machine before. Neither has Deus. Neither has XP. And Nocta has another thing that it's been a struggle for them, right? An adjustable recovery speed. They haven't had a metal detector with an adjustable recovery speed on it. So, if you have a simple machine and you go up to these more advanced machines for advanced users, or for those tough sites, you're going to struggle. You're going to struggle a lot. And I just want to say that if you are just wanting to get coins like in a park or something, or you're just trying to go shallow, you're probably going to be really disappointed on the amount of money that you spend on these higher end machines, right? I'm not trying to go deep. I don't claim to freaking have the deepest detector there is, because I don't really know that I have a deepest detector there is, right? To dig deep targets, you have to be willing. You have to be willing to dig deep targets. And I am sure in the hell not willing to dig deep targets, period. If you are digging in trash or you're digging iron, you have to be willing to dig up a lot of junk, right? If you're in a clean area, like on the beach or something, and you get these new multi-frequency machines, they will probably perform much better than the machines that you're swinging around right now. But once you get into those tough spots, like those trashy spots on the beach, or that thick bed of iron, you really have to know what those settings, how they're going to affect your swing speed, how they're going to affect your depth, how they're going to affect coins on edge. And you really got to learn the basics of metal detecting. You know, there's a lot of articles, a lot of information on the internet about the basics of metal detecting, right? And if you don't know the basics already and you're stepping into one of these high-end machines, you are completely lost. You will struggle and struggle and struggle and just go back to your other machine that you were swinging before. So, you know, is it really worth spending a lot of money on a high-end machine if you're not going to really put it to its limits? No, right? I'm not going to try to dig out 8, 10, 12, 14-inch deep targets with the Deus 2 or the Nokta Legend, because I'm just not willing to do that, right? I just know that I want to make the best use of my time, right? If I'm out there in a field digging all deep targets, I have my metal detector set up to go deep. And where's the treasure at? The treasure that I want to keep is going to be near the surface, and it's going to be in a moderate trashy area, right? It's not going to be out in the middle of an open field, right? My area just doesn't have any habitation spots over 200 years or 150, 160 years, right? I don't live in an epic spot with 500-year-old relics or 1,000-year-old relics or even, 150-year-old relics, to tell you the truth. And all those relics are deep, right? In a lot of places, like in farm fields in my area. But I can't really dig in farm fields because in the summertime it's too hot and there's crops on the fields. And in the wintertime, there is standing water. So it's just really tough for me to really push it deep. And when I'm in parks or schools or curb strips, I can't really dig deep anyway, right? I don't want to dig deep targets. There's just a lot of junk down there, right? I would rather spend my time digging out a piece of junk that is 4 inches deep than digging out a piece of junk that's 10 inches deep, right? What's going to be the best use of my time? I think most of the treasure is within 6 inches deep, and most detectors will hit that stuff 6 inches deep in clean ground. Pretty much all detectors will hit it, no matter what coil you have. And I have a lot of videos out. That small elliptical coil on the Deus works good. That 5x9 coil on the Simplex, on the Amphibio, on a lot of other detectors, But when you get into some of those tough spots, those trashy spots, that's where you're going to find the good stuff. Where have been people concentrating? Where have people habited? That's the spot that I want to go to. And that's the spot where I'm definitely not going to want to go deep, right? Because there's a lot of trash. You have to be able to dig that trash out first to go deeper. Sure, you might get out in an open field and might hit on something good, but do I really have high hopes, or do I expect to dig up a gold coin or a seeded dime at 10 inches deep with any metal detector? Probably never going to happen, right? Because I don't dig in spots that have those types of coins. Or can any metal detector detect a gold ring at 10 inches deep in my soil? My hot soil just won't do it, right? Just won't do it, right? The stuff has got to be there in the first place. You got to kind of learn your sites, and just only takes years of experience on those sites. Sure, you might get a lot of stuff on virgin sites at first, and any metal detector hit on those easy targets. But the more advanced machines, that's where you want to use these more advanced machines at. When you first get a metal detector, are you hitting on twice as much treasure because you spent twice as much money for the machine? No, Definitely not. For sure not, right? And that's actually completely the opposite with my simplex, right? I bought a lot of high-end machines. I still have a lot of high-end machines. When I got the simplex, it was like a quarter of the price of my high-end machines. But I was getting way more stuff with the simplex because it's so simple to learn, right? With these more advanced machines, it takes years, it takes thousands of hours to learn them. And if you don't know the basics of the basic concepts of what frequencies do, and especially with what multi frequencies do, you're going to be completely lost and you are going to struggle, right? Just because you get a high-end detector doesn't mean that you're going to get better treasure. The treasure has to be in the ground in the first place. You got to learn the sites and learn the detector and then start going deeper, right? Clear some of the trash out of the ground, right? That's why I dig up bottle caps and dig up pull tabs, dig out the trash, because you never know what you're going to dig up next, right? Once you clear that ground out, then you'll be able to understand really what's deeper in the ground there. Then you can decide, is it going to be worth my time really to dig out all this trash? Most of the time, it doesn't really pay off to dig out all the trash. But if a metal detector comes along and can see through that trash, and can pick out those targets, that would be great. But with a metal detector like that, you have to learn. You have to lots and lots of hours of learning the metal detector. Just because you have had really good results with one detector doesn't mean that you're going to have the same results with a better detector, right? The better detectors or the highly advanced detectors take a lot of time to learn. So just a little disclaimer there. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe.